moment you have a presentation that is going to have more than one badge, then you must know this doesn't belong to one entity. It's a combination. So this is a typical example of how we present.
Then the last question that I asked, this one of the minister doing an oversight role and the interministerial committee playing an oversight role over the PKTT. Then they decide, the ministers decide to disestablish the PKTT, gives that directive to the National Commissioner. Are you saying that he was not supposed to do that, even though he's playing an oversight role? I know you have said that the PKTT is the decision of the National Commissioner. Then now the minister comes in and says, no, we should stop with the PKTT, as he's playing an oversight role. He was not supposed to do that.
That is correct, honorable members, honorable chair and honorable members. I did indicate on that NSM 3 on my statement that I deposed at the commission, that the PKTT was just but one of the task teams that we had in the South African Police Service. And for the minister to choose only one team and it decides that that team does not add any value in the policing in the country was questionable right at the onset. So if the minister is honest, he should come here and explain why did he choose only this one. Doing his oversight as an executive authority over the South African Police Service, was he aware of the rest of the task team that existed? And if so, how did he get to know? Did he receive any presentations about each one of them? Did he assess the budget that was used by each one of them and how they're operating each one of them? And before he makes a decision that this one must be shut down. I mentioned the number of example of some of the national teams that were working in the province, in the country at the time when the minister took this decision. This was not the only one that was operating, but I will find an example on my statement where I can make a reference to. So I still strongly believe that exercising oversight over the South African Police Service as a minister by deciding to disestablish the PKTT was not a decision informed by the performance of the team, was not a decision informed by the assessment that the minister has done over the work, was not informed by the people that allegedly informed the minister, the merit he has, the members that shared information, was not informed by that.
So immediately after the disestablishment of the PKTT, what happened to the IMC?
The IMT stopped meeting in September 2023. It has never met to date. Perhaps, honorable chair and members, that seems to be part of the challenges which shouldn't be there, but it is there. That the executive authority of departments are appointed by the leaders, be it a premier in the province, be it the president at national level. But those are the members that are coming from political parties. And their presence in those offices are dependent on the political parties or those individuals that appointed them. Now, if it then so happens that you go through elections and there's new government that is formed and the new leadership is appointed, the one that will have occupied the position of that executive authority of a department, by the time that the parliament is dissolved, that person is sitting in limbo because he's got no authority over the department and sit and wait like the rest of us watching television, hoping and praying that the president is going to appoint that person back into the position again. If it doesn't happen, that the person is appointed again as a minister of police, like in this case, I think the last day the minister of police will have left office is before the announcement of the president. That will be the last time the president, when the parliament is dissolved, that person is no longer in the police, will have left with his bags. And when if he doesn't come back, and a new individual comes back, and there's no handing over that is done, the outgoing does not sit with the incoming and they sit down and they work on the program and they get to be briefed. To some degree, we might expect that from coming from different political parties. But the hatred within the same party is that bad that the outgoing the incoming doesn't want to hear anything about the outgoing. He doesn't want to listen to him or meet with him, doesn't want to even work with the staff that comes from that one. So they basically now, some of them don't even want cars. Doesn't matter whether the car is driven 10,000 kilometers. They don't want to sit in the furniture. They don't want anything to do with the outgoing. They start their own things afresh. I think that disconnect creates problems like this. Because then the incoming executive authority, the ministers that took responsibility of the former ministers, maybe some of them are not even aware that there was such an IMC that existed. Because there was no handing over there. You'll ask different ministers of correctional service, justice, and all the others. They might tell you, we don't know anything about IMC you're talking about. Nobody told us about it.